Good day, this is Angelique F. Salis from BS Ed English 2B, and we are assigned to report about the Norse mythology. Before I will proceed to our topic, let me discuss to you our objectives. The first objectives is learn and acquire knowledge about Norse mythology. Second is identify the Norse gods and goddesses. Lastly is know the creation and wisdom of the Norse. Now let's tackle what is Norse mythology. Northern Germanic tribes share a set of beliefs and stories known as Norse mythology. It was not given to the mortals by the gods. There was no scripture in it. Poetry was used to carry along the legend from generation to generation. It was passed down in this manner until the period of the Vikings. So let me tell you the story of Signy and Sigurd. The Volsunga Saga and the Elder Edda both tell the story of Volsung dynasty. Signy, Volsung's daughter, marries a terrible man who murders her father, then imprisons and murders all of her brothers, save Sigmund, whom she saves. Signy disguises herself and spends 3 nights with her brother, conceiving a kid in order to provide Sigmund with a companion for the retribution they are preparing. Signy keeps silent and pretends to adore her spouse as Sinfjotli grows up. When Sinfjotli reaches adulthood, he and Sigmund burn Signy's husband and all of his children in the locked house. Signy steps into the burning structure, seeing her dream fulfilled to die beside the family she has murdered. Later, Sigmund has a son named Sigurd, who braves a ring of fire in order to liberate the imprisoned Valkyrie Brynhild, who has disobeyed Odin, the god's master. Brynhild and Sigurd make a vow of love to each other. He leaves her in the same ring of fire and goes to his best friend, King Gunnar, with the intention of returning. Sigurd is given a potion by Gunnar's mother, who wants Sigurd to marry her own daughter Gudrun. Gunnar decides he wants Brynhild as his wife, but he fails the Ring of Fire's marriage test. Sigurd, dressed as Gunnar, rides through the flames once more and wins Brynhild for his friend. Brynhild marries Gunnar, believing he passed the test properly and that Sigurd abandoned her. When she discovers the truth, she becomes enraged and falsely accuses Gunnar of sleeping with her when he rescued her from the ring of fire. Gunnar persuades Sigurd's younger brother to murder him. Brynhild kills herself after Sigurd's death, requesting to be buried with him on the funeral pyre. That's the end of the stories of Signy and Sigurd. So let's proceed to Norse gods and goddesses. First is Odin, also called Wodan, Woden, or Wotan, one of the principal gods in Norse mythology and known as a god of war. But he was important also as a god of learning, of poetry, and of magic. His wife was Frigg, and his children included Thor, Balder, and other gods. Next is Valkyrie. Norse mythology, a Valkyrie, or choser of the slain, is one of a host of female figures who guide the souls of deceased Nordic soldiers in one of two paths. Selecting among half of those who die in battle go to Folgvar, Frigga's afterlife. The other half go to God's hall called Valhalla, Rise and Valhalla. Thor, or Tunor, in Norse mythology, he was the god of thunder and the sky. He, more than any other god, was constantly on the lookout for giants and demons who posed a threat to gods and humans alike. The image of Thor's hammer was used as a fertility symbol in marriages and its connection with rain and crop growth, and as a symbol of rebirth in burials in Norse religion. His image, always depicted with his hammer, was commonly found in Scandinavian art and on unique inscriptions. Balder in Norse mythology, the son of the chief god Odin and his wife Frigg. Beautiful and just, he was the favorite of the gods. Most legends about him concern his death. Icelandic stories tell how the gods amused themselves by throwing objects at him, knowing that he was immune from harm. Loki in Norse mythology, best known as the trickster god. A lot of the time, he uses his cunning to help the Aesir out of trouble. Other times, he's the reason they're in trouble in the first place. Next is Bragi. Bragi was the god of music for the Vikings and at the same time the god of poetry. He was described as a wise being, particularly creative with words regardless of whether they were sung or recited. Idun. In Norse mythology, the goddess of spring or rejuvenation, and the wife of Bragi, the god of poetry. Fair. In Norse mythology, the ruler of peace and fertility, rain and sunshine, and the son of the sea god Njord. Although originally one of the Vanir tribe, he was included with the Aesir Jord, daughter of the giant Ymir, was his wife. Lastly is Freyja, most renowned of the Norse goddesses, who was the sister and female counterpart of Fear and was in charge of love, fertility, battle, and death. So that's all for my report. So let's proceed to Ashley and Puro. She will continue the report and discuss more about our topic. Thank you for listening.
Hello everyone, my name is Ashley Ann Ampuro from BS82B majoring English. Now I'm going to continue the report of the Norse gods and goddesses. Frigga and Freya is the queen of Asgard. She is the highest of the goddesses. She is married to Odin and she is the goddess of motherhood, love, fertility, sky, and arts. Next is Tyr. Tyr is the Norse god of war and bloodshed, also renowned as the bringer of order and justice. He was best known for sacrificing his arm to Fenrir so that the gods could trap the giant wolf. Next is Heimdall. Heimdall is the god of dawn. He is also attested as possessing foreknowledge and keen senses, particularly in eyesight and hearing. Next is Hod. Hod is the god of winter and darkness. He was tricked by evil fire god Loki into killing his brother Balder. Next is Hel. Hel is the goddess of death and the underworld. She is the daughter of Loki and a giantess. She was never represented as a pure evil. Next is Helheim. Helheim is one of the 9 worlds in the Norse mythology. It means that Helheim is the realm of the dead. Helheim is ruled by Hel, a monstrous daughter of trickster god Loki and his wife Angboda. Next is Garm. Garm is a wolf or dog associated with both Hel and Ragnarok and described us as a blood-stained guardian of Hel's gate. Each day of the 7-day week held a special significance to a god. Sunday was the day sacred to the sun. Monday to the moon, Tuesday to Tyr's day, Wednesday to Odin's day, Thursday to Thor's day, Friday to Frigg's day, and Saturday as a hot water days, which can be translated as washing day or bathing day. Sunday and Monday are named after the celestial bodies, sun and moon, and the other days are named after the gods. Now, let's talk about the Norse creation, where the world was created from the remains of the giant Ymir. The 9 worlds are all held in the branches and roots of the world tree Yggdrasil. Odin has many names and is the god of war and death. He is the one-eyed All-Father who sacrifices his eye in order to see everything that happens in the world. The plains in the Norse mythology is the origin of all that is living and a place where every living being will go back. Next is Yggdrasil. Yggdrasil is the tree of life in the Norse mythology. It is described as an eternal green ash tree. It stands in the middle of the world with branches that stretch out over all in the 9 realms. Now, let's discuss the Norse wisdom. Norse wisdom is a literature that gives a view of life of humans and gods. That is all for our report. Thank you everyone and God bless us all.